Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 2, I think it is. Halloween. So yeah, this is their first Halloween episode ever. There's only been 3 Halloween episodes in Buffy's entire run. How long did Buffy run? 6 or 7 seasons. And so let's see, 5 is the one I first started watching and like. 6 was that one people didn't like, and I think 7. Yeah, I think it ran for 7 seasons. And so there's only 3. And this one is, well, it's my favorite because it's the only one I remember. Because I don't own season 4 on DVD because I particularly didn't like that season. And in that season, I don't even know what that episode's about, but I think it's on Hulu, so I'm gonna watch it soon. And then there's that one in season 6 or 7 with Dawn and the vampires. And I don't really remember that one either, other than she's hanging out with a group of like bad boys who turn out to be vampires, and then she has to be saved. It was right before that singing episode. So it was probably season 6. And so I didn't like season 6 anyway. But this is a cool, fun episode that is totally different than what I thought it was going to be. In this episode, we actually find out what vampires do on Halloween. They take the night off. They just chill in their homes and they don't try killing people. And that's really odd because vampires are like evil, but they take Halloween off. And so in this episode, there is a new person, an antagonist on the show called Ethan. He's an old friend of Giles and stuff. And when Giles was younger, Giles was pretty wicked. Like he did some things that he is ashamed of. Like allowing like this demon to possess his body and getting high off it and stuff. He was much a different person than the nerdy little librarian that we know of today. And so, but nobody knows of his past except for, of course, Ethan and the people he grew up with. And so Ethan just wants to have a fun Halloween and wants to pull like some mess with like Giles and everything, since he knows Giles is a watcher and the watcher of that of Buffy. And so like Buffy, while she's like on patrol and she's fighting a vampire, she's being videotaped by another vampire, recorded and stuff. And it's because Spike wants to study her and her movements and stuff. Spike is the main antagonist of season 2. And he was a great villain and stuff. And so, like, Buffy is, like, forced to, well, her and her friends are forced to, like, take a bunch of kids trick-or-treating because they're in high school and they're older. Principal Snyder, who's played by that Ferengi dude from Deep Space Nine, that Star Trek show, he is forcing them to do it. And so Buffy, she is still like, much in love with Angel. And she's curious to know what kind of girls he's actually into and why he's into her and stuff. And because she's a little upset because Cordelia is into him. But Cordelia, for whatever reason, doesn't know he's a vampire yet. Which is kind of odd, but it's Cordelia, so Which is weird now because there's like these audiobooks of Buffy that's been continuing the story that Amber Benson has created. And Cordelia was now the new Slayer for some bizarre reason. Weird, I don't know how. I want to listen to those so bad. But then there's like a new Slayer that comes into play. A black one, because you know how Josh Whedon is when it comes to his black characters. So Amber really wanted like, a black Slayer. Because Kendra did not last long on the show. And it pissed a lot of folks off. Anyways. So her and Willow, they sneak and they get like the Watcher book on that of Angel. And we see that one of his first girlfriends he fell in love with was this like Victorian type girl. And Buffy feels like she cannot compare to that and wishes she had like a dress like that. So when it comes to them going like trick-or-treating with the kids, she goes to like the Halloween shop, a new shop that opened up. And so like before all this, when they was at high school, Xander got demasculated because this bully was gonna beat him up, and Buffy came in to save the day, and Xander's been pissed about that ever since. He's all like he's a man, and if he has to get his butt kicked, then he has to get his butt kicked, but he doesn't want to be saved by a girl. You gotta remember this was the 90s. Also in this episode, we get introduced to Oz for the first time. And Oz is a very interesting character that only lasted 2 seasons. Fans did not like him all that much. I don't really have an opinion on Oz, just that he's weird. And so like Ethan, the shop owner, he has a very beautiful dress for that of Buffy, a Victorian dress very similar to the one Angel girlfriend wore. Ethan, how he knows this exactly is not really made apparent, but he does know Giles, and maybe he snuck into like the library or something. And he figured for whatever reason Buffy would just want this dress. I don't know why. Maybe he was spying on her or something and overheard her conversation, but she had the conversation at school, so once again that's never really like planned out that well. And so Xander bought some fatigues at like a suppler store, and he bought like a little BB gun type thing, or a little toy gun at the like shop place. And Willow wants to go as a ghost, but Buffy's telling her this is Halloween, dress it up, like show people a different side of you. So Willow dresses like a hoochie mama, which is the college Halloween costume of choice. Boy, I remember when I was in college. This is when Facebook came around, and all you saw were like all these college girls dressed in the sexiest outfits they could wear. I don't know what's up with women and dressing sexy for Halloween, but thank God they do. And so, like, but she still wants to wear her ghost outfit. Well, Ethan, he has this statue head and he's doing this spell. And basically, the whole thing of this episode is whatever costume you bought from like his shop, you will turn into that on Halloween. So all these little kids and I guess adults and teens are now monsters or whatever it is they bought. Now, this is what's weird about that of Xander. He didn't buy his costume there, but he bought the gun. So he turns into like a military guy, like an Army Marine type dude. And he doesn't even remember, they don't remember who they are. So Buffy is like a Victorian girl and everything. And I love the meta-ness in this and how they play it up when she's all like, I'm just a helpless girl. I need a big strong man to do this for me and do that. And I must marry a man to take care of me and everything like that. It is just like hilarious because you realize, sadly, that's how women were treated back in those days. So I like the smart commentary on that. Despite it coming from Josh Whedon of all scumbags. And so Willow is the only person not like really affected because she still has her memory, but Willow is now a ghost. So Willow is trying her best to corral everybody and get them to safety because there are demons everywhere. And so like, and Willow's the nerdy one, so it's kind of hard because you got Buffy, who's a scaredy cat in this episode, and Xander, who thinks he's the manliest man ever, and he has a real machine gun rifle, and Willow has to remind him, don't shoot none of these people because they're just kids. And so as they go to like Buffy's house and everything, Cordelia eventually shows up in a cat outfit, but Cordelia is not an actual cat. By the way, that leotard she's wearing, oh my God. Oh my God, Charisma Carpenter, boy, let me tell you. Anyways, anyway, so, I can't even talk. Anyways, she has her memories and stuff. Because we don't know why yet and everything, but it's a weird mystery. So why does she have her memories and nobody else does? Well, it's later revealed that like she bought her costume from another shop. So Willow, being a smart person that she is, deduces that, it must have came from this one shop and this one shop only. So she goes to find Giles. While all this is going on, Angel, comes into Buffy's house because he has free will and everything. And a vampire ends up coming into the house. Now, this doesn't make no sense. He wants a stake, and he wants to stake the vampire. Is it a real vampire, or is it a kid pretending to be a vampire? That's never made apparent. If it would have been a kid, and I think they, not the camera over, I think they would have been more like Dracula, but they're not. So it must be a real vampire, which begs the question, how did that vampire get inside her house? In order for a vampire to come in your house, you have to give them permission. So that's never been explained. But when he shows his vampire side, it freaks the crap out of her, and she takes off running. And so, of course, Willow scares the crap out of Giles, which is really funny. And so, as they're, at the shop and everything, they realize that Cordelia did not change. Well, no, when they're at the library, they realized that, he thought Cordelia would be like a giant cat woman. But then that's when they come to the realization that no, she bought hers from another store. So they go to that Ethan guy's store, and Giles recognizes the name Ethan, and he knows who he's dealing with. So he has Willow to leave the shop. Now, this shop, the costume shop, will later become the magic shop. After Giles is no longer working at the library and the kids graduate from high school. So I love that little foreshadowing. Now, when Willow leaves, this is what's so weird. She can walk through walls, but when she leaves, we don't see her leave. We hear her leave. We hear the door open and close. Why? Because she's a ghost. She shouldn't even have to open the door. So that's the error in the episode that's always bugged me. And so as everybody's running around and Buffy's all scared and everything, Spike was told by Drew that there's a man coming into town who wants to have some fun. So Spike goes against the rules of the vampires and leaves and realizes, oh crap, dude, this is awesome. There's monsters everywhere. So he gets a couple of them to try and kill Buffy, since she has no memory of who she is. And so Giles confronts Ethan and he beats the snot out of him. And Giles destroys the little statue thing, and everybody turns back to normal, which leaves Buffy to beat the snot out of Spike. Anyways, this is when Oz meets Willow when she's walking by, and he's intrigued because they later on start dating. And Buffy and Angel have a really interesting conversation because he wants to know why did she dress like one of his old girlfriends from back in the day. And it's a really nice heartfelt conversation they have, because these two were madly in love with each other. Disgusting when he's over 1,000 years old and she's literally just a teenage girl. But you know how Josh Whedon is. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.